Namaste, all friends, students, and the curious people of the world. Welcome to this video dealing with the most loved and the most feared word and concept, truth. We all have heard about it, we have pondered about it, we swear to it, we search for it, and puzzled by it. So, what is truth? Let's see what the greatest minds have told us so far. Hélène Douche. After all, the ultimate goal of all search is not objectivity, but truth. So, no matter which way we look at it, when we are wanting to know, when we are wishing to reach the level, it is always truth. We want to know the truth, we want to live in truth, we want to find truth, and we want to enable ourselves to reach the truth. But the journey is much more arduous than it seems. After all, the ultimate goal of all search is not objectivity. Objectivity has to do with the outer world, the physical material world, the objects, the world of objects. So you can know about objects, its character, its qualities, its composition. But where does the object come from? Why does it exist? What is the purpose? And where all this stuff it is made of is actually manufactured. So, objectivity is one aspect. The other aspect of same coin is subjectivity. Because after all, objects are known by the subject, the knower. So, knower cannot be ignored. Even all sciences have shown that. The knower has an influence on what is known or what is to be known. The subject has an interpretation of the object. Subject is the one who understands the object, who is searching to know the object. So, this subject is important. Object is what is to be known, is also important. So sometimes we get entangled in this two-sided logic argument. What some scholars have said is that either be fully subjective, because after all, your attention, your mind is present in the object, and therefore it is making the object appear to you. You have senses, you have mind, you have understanding, you have prior knowledge and future guesswork. So with all that you are applying to know the object. So either be perfectly objective or be perfectly subjective, which means that you are not wanting to know the object as an outsider trying to know something, but you are becoming the object. By becoming the object to be known, you will enter all segments of the object. You will enter the constituents, the way object appears, all of that you become part of it. So you are absorbed in the object. Perfect objectivity. So perfect subjectivity is somewhat similar to perfect objectivity. But in any case, the purpose of all this search is the search for truth, the truth of the object and subject combined. So we all want to know, learn this. And this is the beginning of our journey. And the next quotation is quotation by Sen Sang. Seng Sang. Sengtsan. Don't keep searching for the truth. Okay, this is the opposite of what we are trying to do. Don't keep searching for the truth. Just let go of your opinions. So this is the instruction here, and often valid to a large extent, that when we drop our opinions or preconceptions about truth, when we forget our preconceptions, our assumptions, when we forget that we like the truth, well, how do you know what will happen to you when you learn the truth? So liking, not liking, and having a preference of truth must be something like that, a prior assumption. Drop all that. Then what is left is a little bit pure imagination or pure observation. So with pure observation and unbounded and unbiased imagination is probably better tools to begin the search for truth. Now the next step is a suggestion by Albert Einstein. Is there a reality independent of man? Why he is saying that reality may be depending on man? Because it is, after all, man who is searching for reality, and man who is seeking to arrive at the level of reality. Reality means reality is deeper than behind the appearance, because appearance depends on our senses, and senses are inadequate and may be biased. So going beyond the senses is the first or the second step of seeking reality. Is there a reality independent of man? If there is, then there is also a truth relative to this reality. So if reality is dependent on man, the seeker, then the truth is also connected with that reality. So it may appear a little confusing, but the man, the observer, and reality behind or beyond the sensory perception, then truth may be somewhat connected with that reality, which is beyond perception and therefore beyond the scope of mind. Now, the problem begins with whether truth is independent of our consciousness. Now, consciousness is also another mysterious topic. It is called the hard problem in science. So, consciousness is, if it is pre-existing, which means consciousness comes before life, mind, and brain in the body is formed or takes appearance, or we become part of that. So we have a brain, a mind, and consciousness. So some people think that consciousness appears from brain. If there is brain, there is consciousness. Whereas many others have said that there is consciousness, that's why brain can function. And that is why your sensory perceptions get assembled, assimilated and interpreted by your mind. So, there is brain, sensory perception, mind and consciousness. So what Einstein is suggesting, the problem begins whether truth is dependent of or independent of our consciousness. So he is leaving this question open-ended, but somewhere along the way we have to find which is more likely to be true. Consciousness being dependent or connected with truth, or consciousness independent and not really connected with truth. Consciousness exists independent of truth, whether there is truth or not, or consciousness is the truth which needs to exist before anything else exists. So there are many ways to interpret this, and the point here is these are the ideas that we consider in our own search and find our own pathway. This quotation by Rene Descartes. If you would be a real seeker after truth, it is necessary that at least once in your life you doubt as far as possible all things. So the doubt is connected with the search, because if you start accepting everything that you see or don't see or dream about is truth or ultimate truth, then you may be confused, because if ugliness is truth or hatred is the ultimate truth, then why is there love? Why are there opposites? Why opposites exist if both are truth and both are independent? So, anyway, the point here is that no matter which way you look at it, you must cultivate or retain a degree of doubting all things. In other words, the idea of questioning. You are questioning whether what you know is truth. You're not accepting small things or facts and information and numbers and data as the ultimate truth. You are doubting. So a sense of doubt is essential on our journey toward truth. Winston Churchill. Man will occasionally stumble over the truth. By chance, by luck, in some probability, man will occasionally stumble over truth, which means you will come across truth. But then, what happens? But usually manages to pick himself up, walk over and around it and carry on. So this is a caution of being stable, sturdy and observant. That when you will encounter truth, don't just walk away from it. Stay there for some time. Understand it, absorb it, learn from it and carry it within you, because you are part of the truth. So man will occasionally stumble over the truth, but usually manages to pick himself up, walk over and around it and carry on. So this opportunity gets lost. Here is a small caution by Albert Einstein. Scientific truth is nothing but conditional truth, which means all truth discovered in science are conditional. Why they're conditional? Because all science is basically science of physical material existence. And it often ignores or does not search for the subtleties, the pervasiveness, the invisibilities behind material and physical or reality that we may encounter. So unless we search the truth in entirety, of which physical material may be a segment, a part is physical, maybe other parts which are not physical and material, not perceptible, but they exist in reality. So it's a wonderful caution to keep in mind. Another caution by Gautam Buddha. Suffering results from beliefs held as truths, which means misunderstanding of truth or not recognizing the truth is the cause of all suffering. So, if we accept or if we believe that this, what I know, is the truth and it is proven wrong, we suffer. We believe that we are the doers of everything around us. Whatever happens is because of me. When we begin to suffer is if lots of things happen without my intervention. So I start wondering, I'm worrying why this thing is happening and why this thing is happening to me. If I get sick, I have not caused. I don't think I am responsible for it. Okay? So I'm suffering because it is wrong to assume, most likely, that I have nothing to do with my suffering. I have not contributed to my sickness. But the doctor tells us, or we discover later, that our food habits are the cause of our illness. Then we begin to suffer from the agony that we encounter now. So this one is also a good precaution on the path toward truth. Suffering results from beliefs held as truth. The teaching of Upanishads is that which is subtle essence is not physical, it's not, you cannot see through your eyes or recognize through your senses. Something subtle, hidden, but pervasive. So the subtler it is, the more pervasive it is, because it doesn't require energy to move around in subtle realms. But moving around physical objects, planets and stars, requires energy and movement. So, starting from that simple concept, that which is the subtle essence, in that have all beings their existence. So, all beings and all objects, all beings means all living beings, and all objects have their existence in subtle essence. The essence beyond our perception, beyond our imagination. That is, the hint is, that is pure consciousness. So if you substitute the word subtle essence to pure consciousness, this may be easier to understand. That which is subtle consciousness, in that have all beings their existence. That is the truth. That is the self, and that thou art. So this is a long journey in a nutshell, that after searching all this, we found that the self, that is me, that is the truth. But our ideas, our notions, our assumptions, our beliefs distort that understanding. They come in the way of true knowledge. So going beyond senses, going beyond mind, recognize the subtlety in which the truth is found, or that is the truth itself, That is what we need to pay attention to and live by it. Another similar caution is the envious, which means you are jealous, you are possessive. The envious corrode, which means make themselves corrosive, corroded, uneven, not smooth, not compatible, not observing truth. If we lack those qualities, we are envious of other people trying the same thing and finding it. So the envious corrode themselves by what they think is true, not by the real truth. The problem is the truth does not create any problem. Whether we know it or not know it, it exists. Okay? Truth is not the problem. The problem is what we think is true and that is proven wrong. So let us not rush to form opinion or assumption that this is the truth prematurely. So let's, even if we encounter truth, let's pause, let's take a few deep breaths, relax, close the eyes, contemplate, try to understand it, not only for a few moments, but few days, longer time, and see if you can feel the presence of truth within you. And that is realization. That is self-realization. The envious corrode themselves by what they think is true. The envious corrode themselves by what they think is true, not by the real truth. Niels Bohr. The opposite of a correct statement is a false statement. The opposite of a correct statement is a false statement. Obvious, isn't it? But the opposite of a profound truth may well be another profound truth. So we can look at this statement slightly differently, in different words. The opposite of truth is false. Opposite of small truth, facts and data observation. Opposite of small truth is false. Opposite of great truth is also truth. In other words, if we make a dramatic statement that the world exists and all existence is true, okay, then we say the opposite statement, that all existence is not truth, does not exist, and that is also truth. How could it be? But if we think about it deeply, we may find that the truth of existence itself is not true. It really doesn't exist. Now, how could that be possible? Because we may be calling existence as what we perceive, and what we perceive doesn't exactly exist as we perceive it. So this is the opposite. So the world that we perceive exists. Okay, we accept it as truth. The world we perceive does not exist. That is also true. And this kind of paradoxes, especially dealing with science, because Niels Bohr was a great scientist, is very common. So perhaps one day we will even go beyond material physical sciences and discover the pure consciousness of which we are built, from which we emerge, and we are it. Lao Tzu says, the truth cannot be said. The moment you say it, it becomes false. Now this appears strange. truth cannot be said. The moment you say it, it becomes false. And this is the problem with language. Because truth, if you put in words, you have to describe it within the limitation of the language. So that description is falsifying the truth, because it does not represent. Can you find a word or many words that can describe your own personal experience of consciousness or the truth, reality, pure consciousness, absolute truth? You will find it difficult to express in any language. So what Lao Tzu is saying, if you speak about the truth, what you are speaking is not the representation of truth. So I guess what is implied here is truth is something to experience, and that is the way to know. When you experience it, you will find that it pervades your entire personality. You are the truth. And if you tell somebody, look, dear friend, I am the truth, that is not what you are suggesting, because your friend is also truth. Everything is truth, because truth is present. That is why it can exist. So it is hard to explain in words without getting into an argument when you try to explain the truth. So first understand it, realize its presence in you, and treat others like that. That is the moral lesson here. Simone Weil. There are some people who want the truth to support them. So I have heard people that I am on the side of truth. I am supported by truth. Therefore I am right. So there are some people who want the truth to support them. And there are some who want to support the truth. I want to be on the side of truth. I want to support, uphold, and demonstrate my understanding of truth by being it and expressing it and treating others like it. So being on the side of truth, supporting the truth, is a better option than someone wanting truth to support him or her. So don't expect truth to support you, but you must support and uphold truth. Osho. There is something of immense importance about truth. There must be. There is something of immense importance about truth. Unless you find it, it never becomes truth to you. So, truth is strange in this sense, that unless you find it, it is not truth for you. Because you do not know, you haven't found it, that is, you are searching. So as long as you are searching, in the presence of truth, the truth is not true for you because you have not recognized it. So there is something immense importance about truth. Unless you find it, it never becomes truth for you. And here is the problem in communicating with others about truth. Osho is saying, to know truth is not as difficult. To know truth is not as difficult as to communicate it. In knowing, you are alone. In communicating, the other comes in, and the other makes it difficult for you to communicate. Because to communicate in his language, to his or her understanding, is a difficult task. If you understand truth, you are alone involved. Okay? There is no discussion, there is no argument, there is no communication, there is no dialogue. So, to know truth is not as difficult as to communicate it. In knowing, you are alone. In communicating, the other comes in. So another way Osho has said it, very briefly, truth cannot be taught, it can only be caught. Truth cannot be taught, it can only be caught. Osho's caution continues, one more quotation. Truth is not democratic. People will vote for what is comfortable. Truth is not democratic. People will vote for what is comfortable, and lies are very comfortable. Because you don't have to do anything about it, you just have to believe it. So believing in lies is comfortable. No botheration, no mental torture. Truth is not democratic. People will vote for what is comfortable, and lies are very comfortable because you don't have to do anything about them. You just have to believe them. Fridge of Capra. We do not deal with truth in science. That is sad. We do not deal with truth in science. We deal with approximate descriptions. So under best of circumstances, we do not reach, or the sciences do not reach absolute, eternal, infinite truth. But as long as we get more or less approximate description in a language and in a set of formula, we are satisfied in science. So in a way he is suggesting that science graduates from approximate description to actually discovering absolute truth. And the last quotation is a traditional wisdom, very brief. Wish for the truth, not for the wish to be true. Wish to search and find truth, not I wish I was true already. I wish I know the truth. I assume I know everything. Stay away from that. Not wish to be true, but wish for the truth. So with that, I will close this video, a bit longer than I was expecting. But in any case, thanks for listening and paying attention. And we'll meet again soon. Until then, namaskar to all of you.